Hi, my name is Blake Dupuy, principal of North Vermilion High School. Today we're going to talk about how we at North Vermilion High School plan to use the Educational Advancement Fund $500,000 to improve North Vermilion High School. North Vermilion High School is a traditional public high school located in Maurice, Louisiana. In 2023, we had a school performance score of 105.4. For that same year, we had a school letter grade of an A. Our total enrollment is 830 students, 84% of which are white, 8% are black, 3% Hispanic, and 47% economically disadvantaged. To decide how we were going to use this $500,000 to improve North Vermilion, we looked at our school improvement plan. And we looked at the goals that we decided on in that school improvement plan based on data that we're going to look at in a second. So the four areas that we plan to improve for North Vermilion are academic achievement, school culture, teacher retention, and school safety. In terms of academic achievement, we decided that our focus area would be improving the assessment indices of Bio 1 and English 2 LEAP 2025 test scores. School culture, we want to reduce the number of students receiving ISS, in-school suspension, particularly among males, and reduce misbehavior in the boys' restrooms. Teacher retention, we want to increase teacher collaboration and ensure support of at-risk teachers. And in terms of school safety, we want to improve campus infrastructure and reduce the occurrence of bullying and improve the mental safety of students. So for assessment index, for academic achievement, we looked at the assessment indices over the course of 8 years at North Vermilion High School, going from 2016 to 2024. If you look at it as a whole, we looked at the big picture here and looked at all 8 years and looked at the trend as a whole to determine our two. So if we look at our two target areas, English 2 and biology, we can notice that English 2, we went from about a 111 assessment index all the way down to about an 88. It's a pretty drastic drop. And then also on English 2, if you look at the last 2 years, 24 to 22, if you look at those last 2 years, English 2's assessment index decreased by 10.7 points in just 1 year of testing. And then if we go down to biology, we see a similar thing. We see that in biology in 2016, we were at about a 105. Jump over to 24, that dropped down to about a 78.5. So a drastic jump or drastic decline across that 8-year period. And so we intend to address that using these funds. And you'll see that as we go through it, all of our issues, all of our 4 critical areas of our school improvement plan, we intend to address through a school culture shift. So we're gonna address this academic achievement as well as everything else by improving our school culture. So speaking of school culture, for this part of our school improvement plan, we looked at discipline rates. We looked at why students are receiving discipline referrals, and then what subgroups are most frequently receiving those discipline referrals, specifically the ones that result in in-school suspension. So males have the highest rate of in-school suspension, about 33%, and then for reasons for receiving in-school suspension, the most frequent reason for receiving in-school suspension was failure to serve assigned consequence. This is when a student does not attend an assigned consequence of either lunch detention or after-school detention for some minor offense. This could be something like uniform or tardiness or something like that, where they were assigned a detention and here they just didn't go. And so again, this shows us a lack of respect for the rules, disregarding those consequences, and so we believe this is a school culture issue, and we're going to intend to address it that way. For teacher retention, we looked at the data we used was we looked at why teachers left their teaching positions in Louisiana as a whole, and we can see over there on the left, most frequent reason teachers gave for leaving their position was personal reasons. This is a fairly ambiguous reason. It doesn't really tell you why they left, and we definitely believe that some of these personal reasons were probably due to school culture problems. Maybe they didn't get along with a colleague. Maybe they didn't feel supported at work. Maybe they felt like their administration was absent. Whatever it might be, we feel like those are all things that could tie into personal reasons, and so we feel like school culture is again a problem with that data that we see there in teachers leaving due to personal reasons. If we move over to the right, we're looking at the percentage of at-risk teachers at risk for leaving the profession at North Vermilion versus Vermilion Parish School Board as a district. And so you'll see in red that both at-risk groups, inexperienced teachers, those with less than 3 years experience, and teachers out of field, those teaching outside of their certification area, North Vermilion has a higher percentage of its teacher makeup of both of those at-risk teacher groups than Vermilion Parish does as a whole. So we've got a high percentage of at-risk teachers at North Vermilion, and we need to make sure that they feel supported and don't leave North Vermilion and leave the field of education. And then for school safety, we looked at the number of violent/criminal discipline referrals. We see that use of tobacco/lighter is among the most prevalent of those problems that we have at North Vermilion, and also participates in fights. This, again, is a particular problem among males, and particularly happening in our boys' restrooms. So we're going to attempt to get on top of those boys' restrooms and reduce the amount of both use of tobacco or a lighter, which is typically a vape now, happening in the boys' restroom, and participating in fights. They're going in there, they're fighting, and it goes completely unreported a lot of the time because, well, they feel protected in the restroom and no one goes in there to check on them, things like that. And so that's why that's happening in there. So we're going to address this by getting on top of the boys' restroom and preventing a lot of these things from happening. So let's look at our solutions, what we plan to do with the $500,000, how we plan to address each of these improvement areas. So for academic achievement, we want to increase the amount of time within contract hours for teacher collaboration. We want to increase our PLCs and the occurrence of PLCs. We need to give teachers time to collaborate. We need to give them time to use data to support their instruction and improve their instruction and work with each other to provide the best and most accurate and focused instruction to our students to improve those test scores. In addition to that, we're going to revise our PLC practices. Currently, teachers are not being held accountable for producing results in PLCs. No one is monitoring are you changing instruction? What data are you using? Those different types of things to guide your instruction. So we're going to revise our PLC practices. So in terms of the money, what we're going to do with this, we're going to provide subs for 30 teachers twice per month for dedicated PLC hour. We anticipate this to cost about $10,800 a year. Based on, we believe it'll take 6 subs rotating throughout the day between different PLC teams to cover the classes of different PLC teams at a rate of $100 per day per sub. And so we anticipate this to cost about $10,800 per year, and we're going to do this for both years of the funding. So this will cost a total of about $21,600, and you'll see that in the budget breakdown at the end. Next, we're going to increase some professional development opportunities. We're going to hire some guest speakers to come in and talk on the topics we feel most are needed at North Vermilion High School and complement our goal of a culture shift at North Vermilion High School. So we expect these to cost about $5,000 each. We're going to do one each year at the beginning of the year, at our professional development day before students come back. So first, we're going to hire Jerry Brooks to talk about improving instruction through personal culture and climate. This is exactly what we're trying to do at North Vermilion. We're trying to shift that culture change to improve our instruction and improve our academic achievement. And then the second year, we're going to hire Julie Schmidt to come in and talk about school culture, student-teacher relationships, and educator well-being. Again, all focused on school culture and bringing and creating that collaborative work culture among students and administrators and teachers and everybody working on the same page for the betterment of the students. So that's how we plan to tackle academic achievement. School culture, again, we looked at those discipline referrals. We looked at the number of students receiving ISS. And so one of the things we're going to implement is the Raptor School Pass attendance and hall pass management system. Our big problem area is our boys' restroom. We need to get on top of students who are wandering the halls and spending more time in the restroom fighting and vaping and doing things that they shouldn't be than they are in the classroom. So this system is going to use RFID tags, little tag scanners that every student's going to be issued, and when they go through a door, when they leave a classroom, when they go into a restroom, when they go to the nurse's office, wherever they're going, they're going to have to scan to go in and out of those doors. They're going to have to just scan their little card, and it's going to let them pass through the door. What this is going to do is automatically monitor the frequency and duration that students are in a particular area. So how often are they leaving classrooms? Is it just some students that are just consistently going to the restroom every single hour? Administration will be able to see this. Also, how long are they spending in the restroom? Are they out there for 30 minutes at a time and missing half of a class period? They're definitely up to no good if they're doing this every day, all day. So we need to get on top of that, and this will hold students accountable. They'll know that we have access to see what they're doing and how long they're doing it. It's also going to help teachers for morning arrival and attendance. At the beginning of the day, students are just going to scan into school, and it's going to automatically log the attendance for us. No more having for teachers to take attendance during first hour. Students are just going to scan in, and it's automatically going to be recorded as they enter the building. So we're gonna know who's on campus at all times, right? And when they leave, they just scan back out, and so we'll know what's happening there. And then, so we anticipate this Raptor School Pass to cost about $10,000 for the first year for installation, training of staff and administration, hardware, those scanners, adjusting the doors, RFID tags, and also for software to update our computers, to put it on the computer so that we can track what students are doing. And then we anticipate it to cost $5,000 for each subsequent year for maintenance and replacement of devices and any tech support that we might need. The next way we plan to address school culture is re-landscape the school to create a more inviting atmosphere and increase curb appeal. We feel like currently that the school is drab. It almost looks like a prison. It looks terrible. It's not inviting. It doesn't put you in a good mood. You're not excited to come there. And so we want to address school culture and improve culture of our students, our parents, community members, teachers, and administration by making the school an inviting and attractive place to go, somewhere that people are proud to go, and we think this is going to cause a culture shift, or at least improve the school culture. And so we anticipate the landscaping to cost $69,900 for the first year, and then $25,000 for the second year for maintenance and upkeep. Teacher retention. We looked at a second ago, our data showed that North Vermilion High School has pretty high populations of these at-risk teacher groups, those inexperienced and out of field teachers. So the way we plan to address this is by promoting and encouraging our mentor teachership program. So we're going to provide a $5,000 annual stipend to every mentor teacher on North Vermilion's campus, up to 10 teachers. So this is going to cost us about $50,000 a year for that $5,000 for 10 teachers. And we're going to do this for both years of the funding. So this is going to run a total of $100,000 to increase and encourage mentor teachership at North Vermilion High School to make sure that those at-risk teachers are supported and try to retain as many of them as possible, trying to get inexperienced teachers through those first few years with as much support as possible to make sure that they've got what they need and that we're helping them out to get through those tough times. So that's our plan for teacher retention, is to increase our mentor teachership program. And then last is school safety. Among one of the biggest safety issues at North Vermilion is our windows. Our windows are in terrible condition. If you go through the school, many of them are held together by duct tape. Otherwise, they just fall completely out the frames. Obviously, this is a safety issue for intruders. I mean, you could just push on the window and jump right in the building, wouldn't be a problem. It's also terrible for energy costs. Cold draft just blows straight through the building. And so this is driving up our energy costs for climate control. Pests enter the building. This is running up our pest services, and it's also a big distraction for students when they've got spiders or other bugs coming in through the windows behind them. That's definitely taken away from learning. It looks horrible, so it adds to that poor curb appeal of North Vermilion. It doesn't make it a very nice place to come. So we want to create a more pleasant atmosphere both inside and outside, by updating these windows. We're going to replace 100 windows of the school at an estimated cost of $2,500 a piece for a total of $250,000. We're going to get this done in the first year. We don't anticipate much upkeep cost with windows, so this is going to be a one-time cost of $250,000 to change out those windows, get some nice-looking windows in there, and help out all those areas that these old fallen apart windows are causing. And then last, for the mental, physical safety of our students, we're going to implement the LSUS bullying prevention program. This is a research-backed program shown to reduce bullying and increase school culture, or promote or improve school climate and culture. And so that's what we're going to introduce. We're going to estimate it to cost about $7,000 on the first year for training, consulting services, a 2-day professional development for teachers and admin, student questionnaires, and any resource materials for teachers and administrators for them to come in and implement this program and get everybody up to speed and on pace and know how to use it. And then we estimate that it'll cost about $1,500 for subsequent years. It costs about $11,000 a year for students to come to North Vermilion. If we can save one student from leaving North Vermilion due to bullying, it covered the entire cost of the LSUS bullying prevention program. And without a doubt, students are leaving our campus because of bullying problems. So if we can just stop one student from transferring to a charter or private school due to bullying problems, this program will pay for itself. So we feel this is a win-win. We're helping the kids, we're helping the school by retaining students. It's a win-win here. So we're going to implement this program and reduce bullying and make sure our kids are safe at school so that they can learn. So here's our budget breakdown. Subs for PLC, again, we're going to have 6 subs at $100 a day, twice a month to cover the classes for PLC team members. So we estimate that to cost a total cost over the 2-year period of $21,600. Educational guest speakers at the beginning of each year, $5,000 a piece. Both years, $10,000. Raptor School Pass system, we estimate an initial cost of $10,000 and then $5,000 for the subsequent year of upkeep and maintenance, so $15,000 for 2 years there. Mentor teachership stipends, we want to give $5,000 to 10 mentor teachers each year, so that's $50,000 a year, $100,000 for the 2-year window. New windows at $2,500 a piece, we're going to replace 100 of them. So that's $250,000. The LSUS bullying prevention program, $8,500 for a 2-year cost. That's less than the cost of one student to come to North Vermilion. So $8,500 there. And then landscaping, we're spending $94,900 to increase our curb appeal and make North Vermilion a school that the community, the students, the parents, the teachers, the administrators are proud of and want to go to. So we hope that our initiatives and our money will be spent so well, and that there will be such a change in North Vermilion's culture and student performance and a decrease in discipline that we will continue to receive funding for the ongoing upkeep of these programs. Thank you.